YouTubers, nomads, nomad wannabes, full and part-timers, whoever you are out there in this digital universe. Today we're going to talk about entertainment. We're going to talk about how to build a small but complete entertainment system for your RV. Because there are a few considerations that are different than your home for an RV. So we're going to talk about antennas, over-the-air TV, TV selections, digital video recorders so that you can do things like pause live television and do it cheap. Oh yeah. There's no reason in the world you need to do without anything when it comes to living in your RV, and I don't think you need to do without anything either, unless you want to. So let's get at it, folks. Now the first thing we're going to talk about when it comes to antennas for RVs is the myth that your old RV antenna will not work for digital signals. This is absolutely not true, and you do not need to replace it. In fact, you can go on YouTube and find people making tiny little digital antennas out of metal paper clips. It won't work the best, but it will work. So don't believe that you need to replace your old RV antenna with a new fandangled digital one. It will work just as fine. And another myth is if you do buy a new antenna and it says 80-mile antenna, that doesn't guarantee that you actually will receive reception from television stations 80 miles away. Terrain and the height of your antenna will dictate whether you receive a signal or not. And of course, if you don't have a signal, it can't bring in a signal. Simple as that. Now let's talk about the antenna that I use that has had exquisite performance. It is the Weingartz indoor antenna. It has two sides, black and white, so that it can match whatever color scheme you may have inside your home. It's designed for a home. It is also an amplified antenna, and it has excellent performance. I've actually compared it to one of those outdoor antennas, and it actually performed better, in spite of it actually being inside my RV. Now, the thing you need to understand about television antennas, like the Winegard, it only has about a 40-degree tolerance for signal strength. So if you mount it on a cupboard door, you can swing that cupboard door around and get all those other stations if you need to. That's my little tip of what I do. Part of the reason I do like the Weingartz antenna is that it did not require any more holes to be put in my roof. It's very lightweight, which is very important for you RVers because everything is about space and weight. And it is also amplified. Now, owing to the fact that you are a nomad and you want to get television reception wherever you're at, and the signals come from all different directions, the solution that I've come up with is I've mounted my Winegard amplified indoor antenna on a cabinet inside my RV that swings open so that I can actually just do a channel scan from a few different directions and optimize whatever signal happens to be out there no matter where I am. That's the solution that I have found works geniusly without having to keep moving the antenna around and fastening it to different walls, because that's just not practical in my estimation. And let's face it, many RVs don't have a lot of plugs to plug all these wonderful items that we're toting around in our RVs. You can amplify the signal from a USB connection to your flat screen, eliminating one power outlet plug that needs to be used. I think my RV only has 4 indoor plug-ins, and I've of course created a few extra ones, but that's always an issue when it comes to smaller RVs, is you don't have a lot of outlet plugs. So an antenna that will be boosted and powered from the TV itself saves one more hassle.
I just want to tell you something. It must have been something I forgot all this time.
Now let's talk about the TV selection that you might have or you might consider for your RV. Now later on I'm going to talk about the digital video recorder, which I'm going to suggest based on size, price, and performance. It might even factor into some of your decisions of what you're going to do to build an entertainment system for your RV, because the PVR I'm going to suggest actually converts the old analog signals into a digital signal, because many RVers have those old boxy analog televisions that are generally quite useless without a converter nowadays. So that does solve one of the issues. But I use one of the world's smallest smart TVs. I've got a Samsung. I actually do have 3 televisions in my RV. I've got one for the rear bedroom area for guests, and I've got one for the outside. But my main television is a Samsung Smart TV. I've actually gone through several televisions that have crapped out. I bought RCAs that have destroyed themselves quickly. I even had a brand new Sharp Smart TV that I kind of liked, but it developed screen anomalies with lines, and then the whole picture went blue, and so I had to throw it out and go with the Samsung. Now the Samsung has been lasting the longest, and I like how it performs because I can run all sorts of the apps that are built in, including YouTube. Because let's face it, a lot of you guys watch YouTube. You're watching this on YouTube. And a better viewing experience is achieved when you watch YouTube on a flat screen that's bigger. That's just my opinion. Especially since the remote control allows you to pause and fast forward what you're watching, which I think is a great convenience compared to sitting in front of a laptop or in front of a tiny smartphone. And I do like the guide that's built into the Samsung. So if you're going to watch TV on a rainy day in fall, and there's a whole bunch of programs you want to watch, you can just go to the guide, program what you're going to watch for that day, and the channels just automatically change. It doesn't record it, but it just follows along as you program it. And it's really intuitive, simple, and fast. I know it's not a PVR, but there is a PVR solution, which I'm going to talk about later. Another thing I like about the Samsung Smart TV, which of course most smart TVs can do, is that you can actually use the apps and you can get weather, you can stream audio from TuneIn. There's a lot of great music and radio stations that you can listen to, and they don't take a lot of bandwidth, and I like using my smart TV for that too. You may just experiment and see what's available out there with the apps and enjoy that too, just like I do, because just like I said in the beginning, there is no reason in the world you need to do without anything while living as a nomad in your RV. Now when it comes to watching YouTube on your smart TV, all you need to do is connect to the same Wi-Fi signal as your phone does. And as long as you have a modern YouTube phone app, you can actually project the signal from your phone to your TV and stream live that way. You don't have to pay anything extra for that service. It works wonderfully. You may have to have a data connection of your own like I do, or you may have to connect at the RV park or wherever you happen to be. Now another thing you need to consider about these smart televisions is when they log on to a Wi-Fi network to stream, it doesn't remember the network you were at previously. So whenever you're moving around, you always got to find the new signal, type in the password, and get the signal. It's not like a tablet or a laptop or your cell phone. Smart TVs generally do not remember the signal and the Wi-Fi that you were previously on, because it doesn't assume you're moving the TV around all the time, because let's face it, TVs like that were designed to be used in a home or an apartment or a business, not to be traveling around the country. So that's one small inconvenience of owning a smart TV, but it just takes a few minutes to log on and get the signal so that you can actually use a smart TV in that fashion. You might also consider buying a flat screen television that can actually run on 12 volts, because if you run your flat screen through your inverter, you're going to lose probably upwards of 20% efficiency. That's just something to think about if you are a nomad. And as for running your smart TV through any inverters, I've never had any problems with any of the televisions I've owned or any of the inverters I've used. And I own 4 inverters actually, of various qualities and sizes. So never worry about powering them off your inverter. They will run just fine. But of course, there's always an efficiency issue with running an inverter. Now let's get to the fun part of the digital video recorder, the PVR DVR, whatever you want to call it. It's a way of digitally recording your over-the-air uncompressed television signals into your RV. Most people are aware now that there are broadcasting networks that transmit over the air, and it's uncompressed digital signals. So it's much clearer than satellite or especially cable vision. So that's a big advantage. And often I find with live sporting events like the NHL or the NFL, the signal you receive is upwards of 3 to 5 seconds sooner than your cable or satellite provider gives you. So you're getting a superior signal, and you're getting the actual performance live quicker than everybody else in your community, which is something nice. You know, you can brag about seeing that goal first before everybody else. And it's really nice to pause live television, which is something you can't do unless you've got one of those digital recorders. Now, a lot of people years ago ran out and bought the Channel Master. It's a great product, works nice, well designed, but it's a bit expensive. So I wanted to see if I could find an alternative solution that did the same thing on a budget, and I found it. Now, I'm using the Homeworx digital TV converter and digital recorder. You can buy one for between $25 and $40 or $50, and it will actually allow you to record digital over-the-air TV. Keep in mind, it will not work with cable or satellite. It's only for over-the-air digital TV recording. And the great bonus, like I mentioned earlier, is if you have one of those old boxy analog TV sets, it will convert the signal for you. And it does a pretty reasonably good job at recording. Now, it does have some idiosyncrasies with the recording system, but it works, and it's cheap, and it's small, and it doesn't use much electricity when you're running off-grid. Very important to the Nomad. Unfortunately, for it to record, you're also going to need a storage device of some sort. You can use a flash drive system and just plug it into the USB port, or you can use a large external drive. I do have both. I have a 64 gigabyte drive that I use, and I also have a big 2 terabyte system that I also use to power it. There are advantages and disadvantages with both. A typical high definition program for 1 hour can consume around 6 gigabytes of data. Keep that in mind when you're recording. Same with when you are actually pausing live television. You actually have to segregate a certain amount of gigabytes to do that on the drive. Now, the flash drives are accessible faster, so they work with less delay when you are about to record a program. I've noticed with my large 2 terabyte drive, because that also has to be powered by a separate outlet. It does consume extra power, whereas the flash drive doesn't. And the large drive takes several more seconds for it to activate when you're recording. So if you record a program at 1 in the afternoon, the recording device kicks on, and it can take 30 seconds before it actually starts recording. That's something I've learned the hard way. Just be aware when you do buy it. But hey, the price is so right on this device, and it's cheaper than the Channel Master. Although I would recommend the Channel Master if you're willing to spend the money. But if you're on a budget and you want to create a small little system like I have, I'd go with the Homeworx. And the whole reason I love to record my programs later is just for the exact same reason that everybody that lives in a brick and stick house does it. Hey, you're not always around to watch Saturday Night Live on Saturday night when you got other plans. Plus, I'm a nomad that goes into places where there is no cell service, there are no TV service, there's nothing. So it's nice to bring your programs that you wish to watch with you on rainy nights, or when you got nothing better to do. You can build a huge collection on your digital recording device that you can watch later, and it's not going anywhere, and it's not like DVDs. It doesn't take up space, it doesn't cost money. So I think it's just a prudent little thing to have, and it's handy. Some of you may recall Vince Roca. He's been on my channel a few times. He's from Los Angeles. He's got the Vince Roca YouTube channel, and he's done a complete thorough review and tutorial on how to use this Homeworx digital video recorder. So I'd like to invite you to actually check it out, because he's done an excellent job, and there's no point in me redoing what he's done, because his explanation was quite clear and explicit. So if you want to know more about the Homeworx video recorder, please go check out his video on that. Now, to improve the entire watching experience on your television, whether you're using the digital video recording device or whatever, is to have better sound. Let's face it, the speakers built into these flat screen televisions leave a little to be desired. So I recommend and use the BOSE Mini. Pound for pound, size for size, it is a great unit. You can buy them for about $180, and the performance is excellent. The batteries last 7 hours, which is a bonus if you're watching TV outside. And when you're going to watch a really good movie, having a nice stereo soundtrack does help. All you have to do is plug it into your flat screen and go into your menus to make sure that the signal is going out into the device. And hey, it's great. Sound is vastly improved, and the watching experience is so much better. Now, if you want to watch all your YouTube favorites offline in the middle of the Canadian wilderness where there is no internet, it's a very simple solution. And it's a poor man's solution for a nomad. All you need to do is to use a laptop and get the Mozilla Firefox browser. And once you have the Mozilla Firefox browser, install the add-on application to do video downloads. So when you're in an RV park, all you need to do is click on all the videos you're watching, download them to your hard drive, and then plug in your USB connection from your laptop, plug it into your flat screen TV, and you can watch all this stuff later. And as a bonus, if you really want to keep things neat and organized, you can download all those files, move them to your hard drive that is connected to your digital video recorder, and you can actually watch it and stream it from there. And of course, you can use a remote control to pause, rewind, and fast forward to watch any favorite video you have on YouTube later. And if you do want to spend some money, you can subscribe to that new YouTube Premium. I think it used to be called YouTube Red, and you can download offline. But why pay for a subscription service when you do not have to? That's just my thoughts. So folks, this is the basic home entertainment system I have built for myself in my RV. Very space efficient, very power efficient, and complete so that you too can enjoy whatever you want on the road when it comes to digital media. If you have any questions, comments, please make sure you put them down below and I'll try to answer them. Take care of yourselves and each other, and I'll talk to you soon.